this is Auschwitz. This is Camp 2. Camp 2 is what they call an extermination camp, and it does exactly what it's supposed to. What the name implies. It exterminates. That's what it's about. Camp 1 is a concentration camp. The way that it's kind of defined is a concentration camp is a detention center that works outside the judicial system. You know, you didn't commit a crime or whatnot, and you pick you up and they take you there. There's no due process, no nothing. That's a concentration camp. Now, a lot of the concentration camps are work camps, so it gets a little confusing. But this was straight up an extermination camp. So I'll talk through some of the big mentions of it. And of course, you can see how, you can just see how much the camp itself is just like so iconic. That vision, that image of looking down the rail. You might notice as you're going in that there are not a lot of buildings. And on one side, that side, the reason there's not a lot of buildings is because when they were built, they were made out of wood. What happens after the camp is shut down is that townsfolk who were pushed out by the Nazis come back and they tear down those buildings in order to use the wood for their houses. But there's still some stuff. I assume that the museum decided to rebuild so that you could see some of the stuff. Now, basically around here where the rail car is, that's where the selection process would occur, more or less. At least I think that's where it was, because the pictures you saw. The selection process was if you were too young, too old, you automatically kind of lost out. And then if you had any disability, again, you lost out, and you were automatically. Basically, 75% of the people were just straight to the gas chambers. So that's where the real horrors begin. The people, you see pictures of it. This is a destroyed gas chamber. So the thing that basically happens is as the Nazis know they're losing the war, they also know that this is not going to be looked good upon. So they decide to try and destroy all evidence. So they dynamited the gas chambers. There's some kind of weird facts that I learned while I was here, that a gas chamber could basically kill 1,200 people. But the crematoriums could only do like 200, like in a day. And so that didn't make any sense. They tell you the extra bodies would be piled out in the woods and just set on fire. Creepy stuff. Also, the gas chambers had windows so that they could watch how people reacted. And if you're curious, a third would pray, a third would hug their loved ones, and then a third would be frantically trying to find a way out. I mean, it's terrible stuff. Yeah, really big memorial here to commemorate, you know, the people who died. So that's obviously this. And these are obviously the barracks that they would stay in. There's no good way to say that they had anything like a tolerable life. They would sleep in these sheep bunks, and the problem was because they were being fed so terrible. Most of the prisoners who had survived the selection process would have diarrhea. So being on the top was a lot more preferable than being on the bottom of the bunk, and it's just horrible conditions. Last part here is kind of like a bathroom for them, where they were only given access to the bathroom. I forget, it was like, I don't know for sure, but it was like once or twice a day. That's all they had access to it. And basically, you relieved yourself and that way you're done. It wasn't much cleaning yourself or anything like that. It was horrible conditions. It's hard to imagine. So, I mean, it's a place that, you almost feel like you need to see so you can see how bad things can. Obviously, you can go to the Auschwitz Memorial website or even visit it itself in its own right so that you can kind of understand a lot more of what went on. And these videos only kind of scratch the surface of it.